This is Andrew Hicks, the Technology Director for the Uvalde Group. Today, we're going to be going over the DTD2 follow-up system. So if you do not have a follow-up system in place, this is probably the easiest and the best one to use. It will make sure that you're able to go through your database and touch them personally at least once every 3 months, and also will help fill in a couple more gaps to make it into a full 36-touch follow-up program. So the whole basis of the idea is super simple. We're going to split up all of our contacts based on the first letter of their last name. And then each week we're going to have a different letter group that we go through and reach out to in one way or another, whether it's a phone call, a text message, a personalized email, a Facebook message, smoke signal showing up on their door. Some way you're going to do some kind of personal interaction with that person. That way you stay top of mind. We're going to pair that along with a monthly real estate newsletter that's already created for you, as well as the monthly neighborhood nurture. And that should get you pretty close to your 36 touch throughout the entire year. Pepper in some of those holiday emails and calls, and you've got it covered, along with the birthday and the home anniversary. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to take a look at the follow-up plan. It's called DTD2, and it is not a robot from Star Wars. It stands for do the database number 2. Not sure what number 1 was, a little bit before my time, but this one works pretty great. So this is the DTD2 schedule. Now, it may look a little bit confusing, but I promise it's super simple. So if we take a look here, you can see we've got a date. We've got January 3rd, 2022, which just happens to be that first Monday of the year. And we have a DTD2 group, which is A and W. So those are the first letter of the last name that I was talking about. So anybody whose last name starts with an A or a W, you're going to be putting into that group. So you're just going to tag those people as A and W. Then next week, we're going to start off with B and E. So we'll just go through and reach out to all of those people. Same thing with D and O, H and V, so on and so forth till we get to the very end. Now, the way we're going to set this up is we're going to make it so that we have an even number of people to call each day. So A and W, B and E, D and O, H and V, those should all have roughly the same amount of people in them. The reason why is because based on the distribution of last names in the United States, it comes out to where those letter groupings have about the same amount of people within each group. You can see here we have bonus points for text letters. So on this week, you would go through and text everybody with the letter N as the first letter of their last name. You can just shoot out a quick text, completely optional. Some people see a lot of success with it. Just really depends on your personal preference. The main thing is, though, is that you're going to be reaching out to each one of these people throughout the entire week. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these people to a smart plan, and we're going to set it so that it gives us a specific number of people each day so that we're calling through Monday through Friday. We get an even amount of people, small, manageable group. That way we're not trying to call 100 people in one day because there's no way that I could do that. So you can see here, it's even got the instructions, and I'll be adding this, this little schedule to the YouTube link as well. So step 1, if you haven't, create the tags in command, begin tagging your database. For each date above, create a task. Each Monday, filter your contacts by it and start the task. So we're going to do it a little bit differently. I found an easier way for it to automatically give you a set number of people each day. That way you don't have to think of who you're going to call. You can just add them on there. So this is going to be added to the YouTube link, and you can follow along with this here. Now, another part of this that's really great is that it's going to give you specific people to call each day. That way you don't have to think about it. And some of you may be wondering if you should clean up your database before importing it into command to start going through and doing your follow-up with these people. I recommend not cleaning up anything at all. Import them directly from your phone, from your old CRM, from wherever you have your contacts stored at. I would recommend to import every single person into your database. Then as you're going through and making your calls, you can clean it up there. So instead of going through a spreadsheet with hundreds or thousands of people even, you're going to be getting a specific number of people to edit or remove or reach out to each and every day. It's easier to break these things into small chunks rather than try to tackle an entire contact list at once. So one thing that we've noticed whenever agents come to join us from a different brokerage Whenever they move their contacts in from one CRM to another one, setting them up on the system to go through and clean things in a systematic, small chunk way helps them increase their business quite a bit just by reaching out to everybody. So for example, if I have, let's say, Domino's Pizza inside of my phone, I import that into command. Once I have a task to call Domino's Pizza for that day to follow up with them, I can just delete that from there. And that's one less task for me to do. So we'll go ahead and get started on how to tag the database and then which smart plan to add these people to and kind of the workflow of what we'll be doing each week to achieve this. So here I am in command. Now, what I need to do first is I need to go over to my contacts, and then I just need to tag them with those DTD2 tags. So to do that, I'm going to hit the contacts over here on the left, which, as you can see, if you hit that red KW in the upper left-hand corner, that's going to expand all of the widgets on the left side, tell you the names of them. That way you're not trying to read the hieroglyphics of what those are. You can just get that name right next to it. So I'm going to click on contacts. Now, I don't have too many contacts in here because this is more or less just a test account. You can see I've got Gandalf the Grey, I've got blah, 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 all of these people on here. So the next thing I have to do is I just have to tag these people in my database with those DTD2 tags, those letter groups. So the easiest way to do that is first, if you click here where it says show 1 through 29, if I click on that, I can view up to 500 contacts at a time. So if you have a really big database and you want to tag a lot of people at once, it's best to just set that to 500. Next, we need to get them into an order where we can just select a whole group of them with the last name and tag them quickly. So what we can do is we can click on where it says name right over here, and we can choose to sort by last name A through Z. Makes life 100,000 times easier. Now, you might have some contacts that have numbers in them, or if a middle name was added into it, it may pick that up as the last name. That's okay. Just tag them with the same group that they're closest to. And as you're going through and doing your calls or doing your personal touches to them, you can sort it out from there. So you can remove that middle name. You can add their actual name in. You can add any phone numbers that may be missing, any emails that are missing from it, put their Facebook profile information on there. You can fill in all of that missing information as you're going through systematically, one small chunk at a time, instead of trying to clean up your entire database. So to select multiple people and tag them at once, all I have to do is first select the first person. So we'll say that we're going to put this with the letter A. Now, if I want to select all 3 of these people, I've only got 3, so it's not tough. I can just click on each of them. But if you have a lot of people, you can select a group of people at one time. So I selected this first one. If I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard on the left-hand side, while holding down Shift, if I click on this square, it's going to select everybody in between that first checkbox that I selected. Now that I have those people selected, I can just do select bulk action. Can do add tags. Then I can choose my DTD2 tag if I went through and created them beforehand. But if you're like me and you just like doing things on the fly, you can add that tag in right here. So if I didn't have an A and W tag, I could just start typing in what I want it to be. And you'll see if I don't have one, I can choose create tag. So right here, I can create one. I can choose the color. I typically use gold, but you can use really any color that you'd like. And we'll just go ahead and not add those because I've already got my tag on. So we'll do A and W. I'll do add selected. And there we go. So it may not display immediately. Sometimes you do have to refresh because it just takes a minute for it to catch up. But now that I have those contact tags on there, I can filter by last name A to Z. You can see all of those people have that A and W tag. So now when I get to that week, I can just select that tag or filter by it, add those people to my smart plan, and I can tell it to give me a specific number of people each day to add to it. So if I wanted to tag the next group, which is people with the last name of B, I could select old Ben. I could hold down the Shift key on my keyboard and then click on the next person. and it'll select everybody in between. I've only got 2 in that one, so it's not a great example of it, but I would just do select bulk action, add tags, B and E. And there we go. Add that tag to those people. And I would just go through my database, tag them all up. You can even do this each week as you come to that letter group. So let's say it's the week that I'm doing the people with the last name that starts with G. So I could just click on Lady Gaga is apparently one of my contacts. I could hold down Shift and then click on Jenny Gump, and it would select everybody in between. From there, again, select bulk action up here at the top. I could add those tags, and I would put in that tag for that letter group. Now, let's say that I'm ready to sit down on Monday morning and create my tasks to do my call list for the week. So we've made it super easy. So let's just say if I select my A and W tags, and let's say there's 29 people in it, I could just select all. And what I'm going to do is choose select bulk action, add to smart plan, and I'm going to use the quarterly call plan. Now, this is a really simple smart plan. All it does is it just gives me a task to call that person every quarter. So super simple. You can download it directly from the smart plan database. If you go into library, it'll be inside of the KW ones. So I can just do select. It's going to tell me if there's any missing information for these people, which I'm missing phone numbers for a lot of people, it looks like. Now, even if I'm missing information on them, I still want to add them to this smart plan because it's going to give me a task to call that person. And if in that task I don't have a phone number to call, I know to take a look into my phone if that information's in there, look it up online, find out where that person's number was, and add it to that contact. That way I'm building my database as I'm going through and doing my follow-up. So I'm building business while I'm also cleaning things up and making it easier for me to do more and more. So I'm going to go ahead and do add to plan anyway. We've got a couple of options here, and this is the important part. So I could choose to start them all now, and I would get all of those people as a task to call today immediately. I don't want to do that. I could do start all on the following date, which will give me all of those tasks to complete on a specific date. Not going to do that either. I'm going to go to stagger start over the next few days. So the reason why I want to do this is I want to come in here on Monday morning, select that letter group tag, add them to this quarterly call plan, and divide the number of people that I have inside of that list by 5. That way, Monday through Friday, I'll have an even amount of people to call each day. And at the end of the week, I've gone through that entire group and I've done my follow-up for the day or for the entire week. So I would just take that 29 and divide it by 5, which comes out to 5.8. So I would just choose 6. So now that I have 6 people to call each day, that's a super simple system where I don't have to think about who to call. It's going to give me 6 people from that group of people each and every day to reach out to. So I can hit confirm, and there we go. Today, I'm going to get the first 6 people in that list to call. After I finish those 6, I'm all done. I did my part. I did my follow-up. I'm good. The next day is going to give me 6 new people to call from that list. Complete those. Good to go. During this time, I'm adding in the phone number. I'm adding in the email address if it's missing, the Facebook profile. Any missing information in there, I'm just filling in. In the contacts that don't really belong in there, I'm just removing those as I go along as well. And that's really how you set the system up. So every week, just coming in, choosing the tag, adding to that smart plan, and then splitting it up in an even number. So whatever number it is divided by 5, go through, call all the people I need to. Now, the call itself doesn't have to be thought out too much. It's not really so much a salesy call as it is just a care call. So all you have to really do is just call them, see what's going on, ask how their week is going, how their life is. One thing I always recommend doing is to check their Facebook beforehand. That way you can see if they did anything important, hit any milestones, something to congratulate them for. Also, to make sure that nothing big happened to them that you want to avoid. So if their dog just died last week and you call them asking how their dog is, they're not going to be very happy. So you can also use their Facebook to pull information and fill in your contact details. So you can find their birthday on there, all kinds of stuff you can find on there. So it's good to just take a look at that before you give them a call, get caught up with their life, ask them questions, have something to talk about with them. And at the very end of it, to make sure that it's not salesy, you don't have to talk about real estate at all during that time unless they bring it up. But whenever you're done talking to them, those couple of minutes where you just check in with them, all you have to do is just say, hey, by the way, still in real estate. The market's been a little bit crazy. We've got a lot of new programs, a lot of new things to offer. So if you or anybody else you know has any questions or maybe looking to buy or sell, send them my way. That's all you have to do. And like I said previously, it doesn't have to be a phone call. You'll want to reach out to these people in the way that they like to be communicated with. So if they never answer the phone, probably shoot them a text message. If they don't do either, maybe it's Facebook Messenger they feel comfortable with, or an email. One trick that I would recommend, if you don't get a hold of somebody on a phone call or even on a text or an email, just shoot a quick video saying, hey, this is Andrew, just checking in, seeing how things are. Just wanted to make sure everything's going okay. Just message them with a small, short video about you doing it personally to them, and there's a much higher chance that they're going to return your call or text you back. Plain text works just fine as well, but if you do want to up it a little bit, you can always record a very short video and see if they can respond to you. So that's it. It's really simple. It's the best system for keeping in contact with people, staying top of mind, cleaning out your database, adding information. It's a wonderful thing to do, and it's manageable. I recommend everybody does it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Andrew Hicks at kw.com. That's Andrew, Hicks at kw.com. Thank you and have a great day.